Hello and welcome to my channel, Supreme Fitness and Living. Today we're going to talk protein and why. What is a protein? Protein is a molecule made up of amino acids. You may also hear the term macronutrient, macro, M-A-C-R-O. Macronutrients are fats, carbohydrates, and protein. They contain calories. So that's where you'll hear macronutrient. You may then wonder, well, what is micronutrient? Micronutrients are made up of vitamins and minerals and normally have no calories to them. You can get your micronutrients from macronutrients. And again, remember, those are fat, carbohydrates, and proteins. Every cell in the human body contains protein. You need protein in your diet to repair cells and to make new cells. It makes up your skin, hormones such as insulin, collagen for the skin. So it's very important. Let's talk about how we get protein into our diet. The American College of Sports Medicine recommends anywhere from 0.8 to 2.0 grams of protein for active individuals. So what that means, people who walk and exercise daily or even 5 days a week, anyone who's in that range varies because if you're lifting heavier weights, you need a higher volume. And remember that 0.8 to 2.0 grams is per kilogram of body weight, not per pound. And you'll hear people say sometimes pound for pound, but that's usually a pretty active person and a male. When you get into females, a lot of times we need a little less because of how our liver breaks down protein. But again, if you're a healthy individual, no type of kidney diseases or forms, you need anywhere from 0.8 to 2.0. Now let's talk about how do we intake protein. Most of the time it's through a healthy diet. And through a healthy diet, usually our animal protein is a complete protein, but you can also find it like in soy. I usually recommend it with your, like I said, your diet with food first, both animal and plant-based. But if you're like me, I run a lot, I get busy during the day, I have the best intentions in the world. So I will still rely on a liquid protein sometimes or a protein shake just because of how my lifestyle is. But if you can get it through food, always go food first. I'm gonna put a link in the bio that gives you a list of animal-based protein and then plant-based protein. For those people who are maybe vegan or vegetarian or even doing keto diet. Anyone who doing vegan, what you want to do is say that you can have something called an incomplete protein. And what that means is it doesn't include all of the non-essential amino acids that makes up a complete protein. And so when you don't have a complete protein, say like beans of themselves are a good protein, but they're not a complete protein. If you add beans and rice together, now you have a complete protein. So I recommend getting your protein intake through a healthy diet, whatever your diet is. And by diet, I don't mean that you're dieting like you're doing some type of restriction or getting rid of a whole food group for a certain amount of time, 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I mean, what do you do daily, 80% of the time? What is your lifestyle? And most of the time, good quality protein from both animal and plant, you can get through your diet. Now, if you're like me and you have all the greatest intentions in the world, but you get busy during the day with kids, with work, I can look up and most of my day have been gone. So meal prepping is important, and I have what I call little protein hacks, and I fluctuate myself between a plant-based one and a whey-based protein. With whey protein, I don't have any kind of lactose intolerance, but most people, even with the lactose removed from whey, they usually still experience some stomach discomfort. So if anybody tells me they have lactose issues or they cannot drink milk, I'll have them usually go with a plant-based protein. Or if they're having a balanced diet of animal, then I'll have them get in with the animal, because chickens, they anywhere from 3 to 6 ounces will have anywhere from 30 to 40 grams, depending on how many ounces of protein. I usually recommend in every single meal, try to get in your protein, whether you're doing 3 meals, 4 meals, 1 meal a day, intermittent fasting, make sure you get in a good quality protein. Now there's different types of proteins, as you heard me alluded to earlier. You'll hear sometimes people say complete protein, and what they mean by that, there's some essential amino acids that we need. There's 9 of them. Well, all 9 of those essential amino acids make up a complete protein. And when you hear essential, it means the body needs it, but it also means essential and that you have to get it through your diet. The body cannot make it on its own. And that takes us back to a good animal type of protein and a good plant-based. And when I do animal protein, I try my best, always grass-fed, always organic, a cleanest version as you can get to it. And because of some of my dietary restrictions that I do try my best to get it in first because I do want the muscle mass. As a lot of us probably know, as we sit throughout the day, the more muscle mass you have, the more calories inadvertently that you just burn while doing activities like this, me moving my hands, just sedentary actions. So it is important that we keep up our muscle mass. And a lot of times when we're losing weight, trying to cut, we can lose a little bit of muscle mass. So during a weight loss period, it is important to increase your intake because you can inadvertently hurt yourself if you're starting to eat up and your body uses your excess protein. I'm a balanced person, so I'll do anywhere from 30 to 60% protein throughout the day. Sometimes I hit my 80 grams to 100 grams, and then other days I'm completely off the rails. So I just start again. I've missed it all together, or I've just had a salad for the day because I'm busy. Usually when I reach for one of my hacks, either my protein coffee, mushroom protein coffee, or protein pancakes. There's all different ways you can get them in. And again, everything I mentioned that's an animal, you can do with a vegetable. But with vegetables, you want to make for sure that you're getting complete proteins. And that's peanut butter by itself is not, bread by itself is not, but together you have a complete protein. And then some things like tofu and soy in and of themselves are a complete protein. And let's just talk quickly about protein powder because you hear me mention it. Like I said, I go from a whey-based, because I don't have any lactose issues, to a plant-based. I will go between the two because getting various types of proteins is important too, because they usually offer or give us different type of amino acids. So in protein powders, I usually look for something that is as clean as possible. And by that, I mean, if you turn it over and you read the ingredient, there's not a lot of junk. You can maybe see milk, eggs, beef. And I try my best not to. If I'm out and about, I'll grab what's there. But when I can buy and purchase for myself, I'm looking for ones that don't have any artificial sweeteners, or if they do, is something like monk fruit or stevia. For me, same with the plant-based protein. You don't want a lot of junk. You want a good pea protein. Anytime you do soy, for women, we can have a little bit of extra soy because it does produce estrogen, and depending on your age, you can use a little estrogen. With men, on the hand, I tell them to be careful with soy because they may not need the extra estrogen in their diet. So pick a good quality protein. Take the time to read the ingredients. If you know you're not going to make a protein powder, don't even mess with it. If you need pre-made protein, which there's a reason I have both because that's my personality, it's already pre-made. I can grab it, I can put it in my coffee, and I can go. And one thing, guys, I want to always remind you to do is to always consult with your physician or nutritionist, and especially if you have any kind of underlying health issue or condition, it's very important to make sure you're doing the best things for your body. Those recommendations are based on pretty active individuals. If you know you're not as active, then you want to lower your protein. Or say you are as active, but you eat a certain amount of protein and you notice maybe you don't feel as well or you feel bloated, then you may need to check the type of protein that you're getting and switch it, but you do need to listen to your body. Here's how this should work. 0.8 grams to 2.0 grams per kilogram of body weight. That is a recommendation because of genetics, body weight, size, activity levels, like I said, underlying conditions, you may have to adjust accordingly because it could be something that when you intake it in, your body responds totally different. It can be anything from an allergy or your body just doesn't need it or it's not what it processes the best. So do learn to listen. I had someone ask me many, many years ago, Tracy, is beef good for me? And the fact that you're asking me already lets me know that either you've had an experience that hasn't been the best or there's a reason you feel that way. And sure enough, they said every time they ate beef, they got a headache. So my recommendation, don't eat beef. So always take your time out to evaluate what works for you. Look at your family history if you have it. See how your parents may have responded to certain foods because that may be the way that you respond. And again, remember all these things are recommendations and they're what I call in the IT world, in the lab environment, this looks great, but when you put it out into production or real world, which is your body, your genetic makeup, when you swallow it could come out something totally different. If you enjoyed today's topic, if you could please like, share, and subscribe to my channel, I would greatly appreciate it. I'm definitely going to read every comment, but will I be able to respond to every comment? I won't. And please charge that to my head and not my heart. Take care of yourself, take care of your body, take care of your mind. Until our next video, have a great day.